Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is TechnicallyTee, and today we're going to talk about a topic that I have been getting asked a lot lately, just within the past week, and that is whether I would choose iOS or Android to use as my daily driver every single day for the rest of my life. So if you guys know me, you know I run iOS and Android on the daily basis. I do have a preference over one, so if you know my channel, you kind of know what I have a preference over already, but if you're new, or if you just clicked on this video, then you don't know. You don't know about me and you don't know which device or which platform that I prefer to use as a day-to-day basis. And today we're going to get into a little bit of that. So if I had to choose one, either iOS or Android to use as my daily phone for the rest of my life, I would have to go with Apple and iOS. And this is my reasons why, and it's a few points that I'll touch on very quickly. Won't get into too much detail, but here's my reasons why I would choose an iOS device as my main device for the rest of the life. So number one, it was have to be app quality. The reason why we're on all these phones, guys, is the apps that we use. We use some of these apps every single day in, day out, all day long. Some of us would even make a living out of some of these apps, and the quality of apps that you have for iOS, it just can't be touched with Apple. You know, it just can't be touched with Android apps. Android apps are not up to par. Everybody who runs both iOS and Android already know this. Now, some apps may run better on Android, but as the app quality as a whole, iOS hands down has the best app quality. But once again, we're on these phones day in and day out. We're using apps, and if we're using apps, we want those apps to have the best quality. So app quality is a big thing with me, and that's one of the reasons why I would choose iOS over Android. Next has to be iMessaging. Now, if you don't know what iMessaging is, you already know it is iOS main platform when it comes to messaging. If you haven't used iMessage, I don't know where you've been, but using iMessage, I feel, is the gold standard when it comes to messaging as a whole. It's nothing like when you text somebody and that blue bubble pops up. You know you can send media, you can send any of these files or different things without it being compressed. You guys already know if you send it to an Android customer, or if somebody has an Android and they send you a video, you already know it's gonna be blurry, you're not gonna get it, it's gonna take forever to get. But if you hop on iMessage, or if you're dealing with somebody who has an iPhone, you have multiple options to send media over to them. You have AirDrop, and you also have iMessage to send it over to them. So if you haven't used iMessage, man, pick up an iPhone, try to use iMessage, but you will see the hype around it and the reason why everybody chooses to use iMessage, or they want an iMessage competitor when it comes to Android. Yeah, Android has tried to make different platforms, different services, different apps to compete with iMessage, but none of them work as flawless as iMessage. And to me, iMessage is just it for me when I send the text messages. I hate sending regular text messages. Yes, I use Android as my daily. I am not a fanboy either. Let's not get that mixed up. I'm not a fanboy either. But I hate sending text messages on an Android. Like, I feel like it just takes a long time. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so used to iMessage. When I switch over and message on a Galaxy or any other Android phone, I feel like it just takes so long to send a message and everything like that. So I really enjoy iMessage. iMessage is the standard when it comes to sending text messages, and I really wish Android would make a competitor to it, but they're trying. Maybe they will get one, but iMessage is the way to go for messages, period. Next, another thing. Now this is completely personal. This is not a general statement, but a lot of my friends, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 95% of my friends own iPhones. That goes back to my last point of iMessaging. So iMessaging, basically, it works when other people have iPhones. So therefore, if all my friends have iPhones, then messaging is perfect. You know what I mean? Messaging is perfect. You can send media, you can FaceTime. I mean, FaceTime is where it's at. I probably FaceTime every week. And another reason why is, like, a lot of my family members now have FaceTime. I got my brother using iPhone. He wasn't an iPhone user. My sister-in-law is an iPhone user, so therefore I can FaceTime my niece every weekend anytime she wants to FaceTime. So it's little things like that where friends having iPhone, family members having iPhones will really help in the long run and choosing what device actually works for you on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of my friends having iPhones, it just makes the whole thing easier. Making group messages when everybody has an iPhone, it's a whole iMessage group message. It's things like that. Not getting delayed messages. Everybody know if you have a group message with an Android, it can get really chopped up. You can get messages all out of order. You can get people that's sending you individual messages as well as sending messages in a group chat. It's just not as uniform as the iMessage group. So it's little things like that. If my friends have iMessage, it makes the whole thing better. It makes communicating with my friends a lot better. We can FaceTime audio, we can FaceTime video, we can send pictures over iMessage, you can send pictures over AirDrop. For New Year's, I had friends over here and I probably sent 50 pictures to each one of them through AirDrop because everybody had an iPhone. You see what I'm saying? So it's little things like that that helps me further make my choice to use iOS as my main phone. Last thing but not least, customer service. So if you haven't dealt with Apple's customer service, it is nothing like it. There's nothing like knowing you have a device where if something was to happen to it and you have warranty, Apple Care, your factory Apple 1-year warranty, you can go right in the Apple store and they won't ask you any questions about what's going on. You literally can tell them that you're having this problem with your phone and they would exchange it on the dime without any questions asked. For example, I had an iPhone, I think my 7 Plus actually had a dead pixel on it. So I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna have to persuade or they're not gonna see the dead pixel once I get into the Apple store. So I set my Jeans Bar appointment online, went into the Apple store, found who I was gonna be working with. He took my iPhone, he looked at it for a split second, and I swear he didn't see the dead pixel. He looked at it, boom, walked in the back, came out with a fresh, brand new iPhone 7 Plus. Now who knows if it was brand new, it was refurbished. It looked brand new to me. He came in, bought it out the box, took it out the box, the factory plastic and everything was still on it. It was brand new to me, handed me the iPhone, restored all of my stuff for me for free, and I walked out the Apple store with a brand new iPhone with a flawless screen. Now, if you have a Samsung device or you have any Android device, how many times can you just go in there? You can't go into a store unless you have one of those Samsung stores, one of those flagship stores in your state or in your area. You can't just go in and get that done on a drop of a dime. You might have to send your phone. You might have to be out of a phone for a day or two, but it's things like that, the convenience of going into the Apple store. I have not once called Apple, went into the Apple store without getting my issue handled in a timely manner and the right way. So customer service goes a long way. It's nothing like buying a product knowing you have great customer service to back it. So those are just a few points as why I choose iPhone over Android. And there might be another few, there might be a few more points, but this video was not to get deeply invested in that. It was just a brief overview of why I choose iOS and iPhones over Android. So let's get some conversation started down below. Let me know what device you use for your daily drivers and why you use them, because I like to see everybody different points of views, especially when people choose Android over iOS. Let me know. Once again, I love Android, but if I had to choose a device to use every day for the rest of my life, it would be an iPhone and iOS. But as always, guys, this is TechnicallyTee. If you haven't already, give this video a huge like, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Later.